In this video, we're talking about using silhouettes for depth and visual interest. So here's the image we're starting with. It's nothing interesting, it's nothing super fun, but it does have some qualities that can lead it to be very interesting. Mainly, it's got a single point focus with leading lines using the hand railings. They lead the eye right up to the top of the stairs. Silhouettes is one of the easiest ways to create a ton of depth and visual interest, and you can employ them everywhere. And there's a reason why they're still so popular in film, because they are just that good. They are just that interesting. So for this, I'm gonna make this shot a silhouette. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to make this shot very interesting, and we're gonna work through how to get there together. We're gonna go through the whole process. So the first thing is that the stairs are just way too dang bright. They distract the eye. They are getting in the way of making this shot very, very cool. And even with the leading lines of the staircase and going up into at the door at the top, it doesn't work because the stairs are too dang bright. So we're gonna turn off those lights. Boom. This could work. If you had no lights and you just needed a shot, this would work. This is interesting. This is pretty much there. Video's done. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you. And even if we like this shot, even if we're like, this shot's cool, the reality of if we were shooting this scene for 5 or 6 hours, or we were shooting this towards the end of the day in the winter, that light will not be the same. So if we love the light when we turned it on and when we were getting everything set up and while director's talking to actor and hair and makeup still working, by the time they get to set, the shot won't look the same. So even if we liked it, we need to get control so that we can force it, so that we know no matter what happens, that shot is still going to be the same. And that saves everybody time, money, and a whole lot of stress. Get control of a scene so that you can confidently tell everybody who's around you and depending on you to get this thing moving that we're good to go and we have total control. Nothing is changing. We could do this scene for 13 days straight if we needed to. That's what you want to do. That's the kind of energy you need to have as a DP. You need to know nothing is going to change and that this is going to be your image and the director's vision through and through. So even if you like that image, unless you're shooting right then and that's all you need to do, you need control. So to get control, just black out the ambience. Get the ambience down to a level you control. Even if it changes a little bit, it doesn't overpower the lights you're gonna put in and it doesn't, land on talent. Get control. This shot will work with a very strong backlight, and I'm going to do that with an Amaran 300C with the Spotlight SE attachment on it, and that is going to focus a very direct beam. I think I'm going to use it for a little bit of interest right on the subject. It's going to be a nice hard edge light. It'll lift a little bit of exposure, but it'll really draw all the attention in this scene to that bright edge silhouette of the character at the top of the stairs. And that's really gonna separate this shot kind of from other methods and other things. Like if I were to use the open face fixture, I would get a silhouette. Oh, for sure, I would get a silhouette, but it would bounce everywhere. It would hit the white walls. It would start to lose the kind of interest that I'm trying to develop in this shot. So after I have that, I'm just looking at the shot and I'm seeing what I like and what I don't like. I don't like that the spotlight is hitting the floor, and the floor's a nice warm wood, so it's bouncing all up in the space and it's starting to lose the interest I set out to do. I'm seeing too much that I don't want to see. So I'm just gonna tinker with the position of that, lower the fixture, angle it until I find where I want it to be. So I find a spot that's good. It's out of frame, it's shooting right down into the stairs. I flagged off some of the sides so it's not casting a shadow onto the wall that I don't want to see. Now the image is in a better spot. And I got there because I just critically looked. I took a deep breath and I looked at the image and I say, what do I like? What don't I like? So now we have a really cool silhouette, but I don't want to stop there. I don't want the subject to be so dark. I don't want them to just totally be silhouetted like that. They're not a bad guy in this story, They're not going down here to finish off a victim that they, push down the stairs. That's not what's happening. Maybe this is a hero looking for something in the basement, an heirloom or a sword or a weapon. So I need a little bit of light on their face. And that's where lighting and storytelling go one in one. If this character were evil and they were some sort of serial killer and they were going in the basement to finish off a victim, I don't want to see anything from them. I want them to be very scary and be in the dark. But this person's not that. So we're going to just put a little bit of light. We're going to push a little bit of light, almost maybe like it's, another room, or it's the ambience from the sun or the daylight. And it's going to just put a little light, just a little texture on the face So I'm gonna do that with the P60C. I'm just gonna put that right next to the door. So as soon as it opens, the subject gets a nice little edge. And I'm gonna cool that light off so there's a little color contrast between what's hitting the subject in the back and what's hitting them in the front. Not so much so that they feel like two different fixtures, but that they just feel like a little different, just a tad, just a couple 100 Kelvin degree difference between the two. And that's it. That's, you know, it's silhouettes are simple. It don't overcomplicate one of the most reused, one of the most implementable, one of the simplest techniques to upping the production value and cinematographic intent that you have in silhouettes. Like, use them to your advantage. They're not cliche. There's a reason why they still make an appearance in every movie that we watch and every TV show that we watch. They are good. They are important. We got to remember that the silhouette sometimes isn't always enough. And if you don't have control of the space, you're not making films. You're just shooting video. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.